right, well, we'll go ahead and get started. If we have people join us, that's fantastic. But we are going to go ahead and start. And if you have a couple of blocks or even a couple of blankets, let's go ahead and sit on that. Maybe you put two blocks together, almost like a little bench, just to raise the hips up over the knees and allow the knees just to come on down. It's really a nice way to start out. And let's go ahead and just broaden that chest and maybe just take our hands, maybe place our hands almost in a little shape of a triangle and place them at our belly. Just press the hands in at the belly, just to remind us about our breath. And we're going to begin to center. Close the eyes or take the gaze just about 2 feet in front of you. And then just start to breathe. Let's just breathe naturally at first, just breathing in from that belly region. Breath travels up through the collarbone, in through the back of the throat. Maybe hold that breath for just a bit. And then exhale any way you like. Maybe it's through the mouth. And on your next breath, let's take a lion's breath. So same thing, we're going to breathe in from the belly. Sip in a little more air. Try to hold that breath in the back of our throat. And then we'll take a lion's breath out through the mouth and just empty the lungs. Make it a long breath. Till all that breath is gone. Now let's take another breath in. We'll turn this into Ujjayi breathing. Inhale. Sip in a little more. And then exhale, sealing the lips through your nose. Hearing it in the back of your throat. That trick, breathing in as though you're surprised to see someone, exhaling as though you're fogging up that hand mirror with your nostrils. So let's try that again. Breathing in. Sipping in a little more. Maybe hold that breath, seal the lips, and then exhale, breathe out through the nostrils. Giving the lungs a workout. And then just continuing that breath, you can maybe take your hands, place them on the knees, still keep the eyes closed if you like as you breathe. Maybe set an intention for your class today. Maybe it's a goal, maybe it's breath work, maybe it's really keeping your foundation, your feet pressed into the mat. Maybe it's just sending your energy from today's class to somebody that you love. And my intention, I'm going to set one today too. My intention is to really cue the breath and remind you to embrace that breath and bring it into your practice today. So with that in mind, let's just take one final community breath together, breathing in from our belly, sipping in a little more air, holding that breath for just a bit, and then exhaling out through our nostrils. Beautiful. Let's begin to move. Let's take our shoulders, reach them up towards our ears, hold them there for just a bit, and then loop them back. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, squeeze the belly in a little tighter. And on your next breath, let's go ahead and send the arms up towards the ceiling. Spread the fingers as wide as possible and just begin to make some slow, gentle movement side to side. Maybe even put a little bend into the elbows. Put a little flick into the wrist, breathing in, exhaling out. One more breath, inhale, exhale. And the next breath, we're going to reach the arms up nice and wide, and then send the arms out to the side. Once here, let's go ahead and make a fist and just make some nice big circles. Breathing in, exhaling out. And when we get our arms back up towards the top, let's reverse those circles the other direction. Breathing in, exhaling out. And then once at the top, let's go ahead and open up our fingers, bring our hands together in a prayer mudra, and then just send them down to heart center. Let's take another deep breath in. Deep exhale out, releasing the hands, sweep them back up towards the ceiling. And then press the palms together, send them down to heart center again. These are sun salutations, seated sun salutations. Inhale, sweep the arms up towards the ceiling. Exhale, bring the palms together, send them down to heart center in that exhale. And then on your next breath, let's just go ahead and bring the hands back to our knees. Roll the shoulders towards the back wall. Thinking about our breath as we're doing this, and then reverse those shoulder rolls towards the front wall. Nice work. On your next breath, we're going to remove our blocks. Just place them to the side. We'll use them again and come to your sit bones, pressing flat into the mat. So we're going to take some deeper stretches here. So with your next breath, we're going to sweep the arms up towards the ceiling, spread the fingers nice and wide. And on your next breath, we're going to bend the right arm, press that palm into the mat, and sweep the left arm in the body, taking a right-sided stretch. Inhale, sweep back up, arms come back up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, take it to the left. We're going kind of slow to match our breath. Inhale, lift up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, take this move to the right. Inhale, sweep up towards the ceiling. Exhale, take this movement towards the left. Make sure your sit bones are on the mat. We're going to do one more each side. Inhale, sweep the hands up, spread the fingers wide. Exhale, take it to the right. See if you can go a little deeper. Inhale, sweep the arms up towards the ceiling. Last one, exhale, take it to the left. Great work. On your next breath, let's go ahead and cactus the arms. Squeeze the shoulder blades back as you do this towards that back wall. Squeeze the belly in. And we're going to do a little cactus movement here. We're going to bring the right hand down, squeeze the shoulder blades. And then on your next breath, just switch sides. Left hand comes down. Inhale, take it to the right. Exhale to the left. As you breathe, one more. Inhale, right. Exhale, left. And the next breath, let's cactus both arms. Sweep the arms out to the side. And we're going to just send the palms down towards the floor and just move at the rib cage. So we're going to breathe as we move to the right. Exhale, rib cage goes to the left. Inhale, right, sit bones stay on the mat. Exhale to the left. Last time, inhale to the right. Exhale to the left. And then once again, let's just take our hands, place them on our knees, and just roll out the shoulders, thinking about the stiffness we might be feeling there. And just make a note when you reverse those shoulder rolls, how it feels going towards the front of the room when you roll the shoulders out. Great work. And then on your next breath, we're going to just take the hands and place them on the waist. Take a little seated cat-cow. And this will probably feel good towards for the shoulders. So we're just going to inhale, draw the belly in, draw the chin towards the chest, and our elbows are reaching towards our knees. They won't touch. And then exhale, draw the elbows towards that back wall. Really open up through the chest. This is a great chest opener. Maybe look to the ceiling. Inhale, elbows go towards the front. And then exhale, open up through the chest. Beautiful. Let's do two more. Inhale, round the back here. And then exhale, open up the chest. Last one. Inhale, round the back. Chin to your chest. Exhale, open up towards the chest. Beautiful. And then just take your hands, place them on your knees. Let's do one more little round of shoulder rolls. Breathing in. Exhaling out, reversing those rolls towards the front of the room. On your next breath, we're going to transform into a butterfly pose. So we're going to press the soles of the feet together and just wiggle out the knees very slightly. Breathing in, exhaling out. And then with our hands grabbing our ankles, we're going to slide the feet forward. And if you look down, you've created a nice diamond shape here. And we're just going to take a little fold. We're just going to reach the hands maybe to the toes, bring the elbows outside the shins, take your gaze, dip the chin in towards the chest. So your gaze is at the floor, and just hold this as you breathe in. Exhale out. And then slide the fingertips all the way up to the knees, draw those knees together. And we're going to take a little twist here. So let's go ahead to prepare for that twist and come into a seated position where our feet are out in front of us, toes are facing the ceiling, and we're sitting up nice and tall. Really lengthen through the torso area. And let's go ahead and just take our fingers, place them underneath the right knee and slightly bend that knee. And then grab that ankle, place it on the outside edge of that knee. And then we're going to take our elbow, our right elbow, and just line it up to the knee area. Left hand's going to reach back behind us. And you're going to have a little bit of a tug of war going on. You're going to press that elbow, that right elbow, into the left knee. Left knee is pressing away, pressing into that elbow. So you're going to feel a little bit of stretch in the hip. And that will address tight hips. Maybe even the hamstrings get a little action. And then on your next breath, look behind you, maybe look over your left shoulder as you're pressing that elbow in to the knee, and the knee is pressing into the elbow. The harder you press, the more you're going to benefit, the more you're going to feel. And let's just breathe here. Inhale, exhale. Breath travels up the spine. Breath travels down the spine. Last breath, breathing. And on your exhale, just release that. And we're going to take it directly to the other side. So we're going to bend that left knee, take that left foot, and place that ankle on the outside edge of that right knee. Then cactus, if you will, just cactus that elbow, just line it up with that knee, spread the fingers wide, take the right hand, place it behind you. And once again, feel that little tug of war going on where you're pressing the elbow in towards the knee is pressing towards that outside left wall. And then look over your shoulder here. And we're going to stay here for 3 breaths like we did on the other side. Breathing in, exhaling out. Our breath is traveling up the spine and then traveling back down the spine. Inhale, exhale, and then go ahead and release that. And let's take the left leg and just press that left foot into the mat. Go ahead and send that right foot to meet. So the knees are bent. We're going to take our right hand, bring it back behind us, fingertips facing that back wall, left hand, also the fingertips facing the back wall. And we're just going to look up towards the ceiling, open up through the chest, and really draw the shoulder blades together. This is a nice stretch for stiff, sore shoulders. So stay here for one more breath. And then on your exhale, go ahead and release this. And we're just going to allow the knees to fall to the right so we can very gracefully make our way into a tabletop. Now, here is where you might want to take a blanket, take your blanket, and just place it to protect the knees, because we'll be here for just a little bit. So once you have that set up, just go ahead and make your way into that tabletop, flatten the feet, and just notice how they feel, the tops of the feet on your mat, and begin to make some circular motions. Maybe even turn it into a little bit of a tabletop cat-cow, where you're drawing the belly in towards the spine as you make those circles. Circular motions. If you want to bring the neck into this a little bit and rotate the head a little, that's certainly fine to do. Check in with your breath. And then let's come to a neutral position where we just have stillness and look down at your fingertips. Make sure that your fingertips are pressing into the mat, that the hands are nice and active. This will protect the wrists. And then we're going to turn on a little more movement. So on your next breath, go ahead and stretch back the right foot. Tuck the toes into the mat. Draw the heel in towards the mat. Now we're working on those calf muscles, and we're working a little bit on the hamstrings, getting those loosened up. On your next breath, go ahead and take the left foot and just heel toe it all the way off the mat on the left side. And you're going to find that all of your weight wants to come into the left palm, and just allow that transition to happen. Go ahead and bring the chest towards the right wall or the back wall, and send the right hand up towards the ceiling. So we're in a supported side plank right now. We're going to stay right here. On your next breath, we're going to just rotate that right arm. So we're extending it towards the wall in front of us, reaching towards that wall in front of us. You're going to feel a nice pull and a nice stretch along the right side of the torso. On your next breath, option to lift the right leg. Draw the toes towards the body, and then exhale, lower that leg. We're going to do that one more time. Inhale, reach the leg up, draw the toes towards the body, and then exhale, allow that leg to come right back. On your next breath, come out of that and come right back to your tabletop. And let's go ahead and take a child's pose here. So we're going to bring the right knee towards the outside edge of the right side of the mat, left knee towards the left side. You're going to notice your big toes are going to touch, and then just sink the hips back. Walk the hands towards the front of the mat. Maybe they're spider fingers. I also call these cupcake fingers, where you just place the fingertips and almost like you have two cupcakes underneath your hands and you don't want to disrupt the frosting. So walk those fingers forward. Maybe the forehead presses into the mat, and let's breathe here. Nice full inhale. And then even deeper exhale out. Good. Let's take a twist while we're here. On the next breath, maybe you walk the fingertips all the way off the mat to the right, and maybe the left hand comes on top of the right hand for a nice deep stretch. If it's more comfortable to flatten the hands, go ahead and do that and hold this. Let's try to stay here. I'll even count this one out as we breathe. Staying for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then we're going to do that same thing on the other side. Just walk the hands, spider fingers, or maybe not. Walk the hands all the way to the left side and take the right hand. Try to place it on top, getting a nice deep stretch in the torso on the right side. As you breathe, holding this for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then coming back to our neutral position. Try to walk the fingers to the very farthest point, maybe to the very top of your mat if they'll reach. Press the forehead down and take one breath here. Inhale. Exhale. And then we're going to slide the right hand towards the body, left hand towards the body. Come back up into that tabletop. And once again, just make sure your hands are nice and active. Fingertips are placed into the mat. Make some circular motions. Maybe put a little bit of a cat-cow spine in, drawing the belly in towards the spine, and then drawing the belly towards the mat with your breath. On your next breath, we're going to do that same little supported side angle on the left side. So let's go ahead and stretch back our left toes, tuck the toes into the mat, and draw the heel towards the floor. Should really feel good in that calf muscle. And then at the same time, we're going to heel toe the right foot all the way off the mat, noticing how our body just wants to take all of our weight to the right side. So all of our weight's in that right hand. And we're just going to sweep the hand up towards the ceiling, maybe a glance at the ceiling. And then on your next breath, send that left hand towards the front wall. With your next breath, go ahead and raise that left leg. Draw the toes towards the body to feel that stretch. Exhale, lower the foot down to the mat. We're going to do that one more time. Inhale, reach that leg up as though you're standing on the wall in front of you. And then exhale, bring the foot back down. On your next breath, we're going to come right back into our tabletop. And we're going to take another child's pose. This time it's going to be a little different. We're just going to send the hips back without widening the knees. So you're going to feel a little space between the heels. And just to protect our shoulders, we're going to send the left arm back. Maybe we can even squeeze the bottom of the foot. Send the right hand back, squeeze the bottom of the foot, or maybe you grab your heels and just press the forehead into the mat. Let the back round here and let the shoulders just relax. Let's stay here for 2 breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Another breath here. And exhale. On your next breath, go ahead and slide the hands around and then just bring the hands up towards the body. So we're sitting and we're just in a seated position, and just kind of lift up a little bit so you're sitting on your heels to stretch out the ankles. Gives us an opportunity to remove the blanket for now and allow us to raise up into our warrior series and get up onto our feet. So maybe you take the shoulders, reach them up towards the ears, roll them back here, squeeze the belly and tuck the tailbone just a little bit. And then next breath, we're going to go back to a very brief tabletop. So spread the fingers nice and wide. Come into that tabletop. Maybe you make a little wiggle or 2 before tucking the toes. And then lift the knees, stay here just very, very briefly, and then send the hips up towards the ceiling. Take your gaze to that wall right behind you, and maybe you pedal out your feet, bending one knee, straighten the opposite knee. Hips are reaching towards that back wall, so our shoulders are protected and they're not dumping. We're not dumping into the shoulder region. On our next breath, let's go ahead and raise that right leg, reach it up nice and high, bend the knee, thread it through, and plant that foot right in between the hands, coming up into warrior 1. Sending the hands up towards the ceiling, and just notice if your knee wants to go out to the right side, just gently draw it back into that center line, spread the fingers wide. And while we're here, squeeze the left hip, just turn it on and give it a little squeeze, squeeze those muscles, good. And then on your next breath, take it to warrior 2. Gaze through your fingertips, straightening the shoulders, just stacking them right over the hip region. And we're going to reverse our warrior here. So on your next breath, you're going to just reach for that front wall, and then flip that palm, the right palm, send the left palm back, arm back, and then look up towards the ceiling. Let's do one more just like that. Go ahead and come back to warrior 2. Reach for that front wall, flip the palm, send the left arm back behind you, and then reverse your warrior. Good. On your next breath, come right back to warrior 2, and we're going to straighten the front leg. And we're going to take it to a triangle pose. So we're just going to rotate the body down. Right hand maybe comes outside the left foot, and then just rotate your chest. Try to see your left thumb. A little bit of balance going here. And on your next breath, we're going to release this and come right back up slowly, slowly, slowly. And we're going to keep the legs straight and just spin on the heels. Turn the whole body so that we're facing the opposite side. And we're going to just keep rotating and turn this into a warrior one on the left side. So maybe you adjust that back foot, should be facing at about 2 o'clock. Square the shoulders towards that wall that's now in front of you. Spread the fingers wide. And once again, it's an opportunity to turn on that muscle in the right hip. So just squeeze that muscle, squeeze, 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 squeeze. On your next breath, turn this into warrior two. So we're still on this left side, and we're going to do what we did on the right side. So with your next breath, we're going to reach for the front wall, flip that palm, the left palm, sweep the right arm back, and reverse the warrior. Try to look at the ceiling here, nice bend to the knee. Let's do that again. Come back to warrior two, reach, reach, reach for the front wall. Try to get nice and low, flip that palm, reverse your warrior. Beautiful. On your next breath, come right back to warrior two. And we're going to straighten that front leg and just almost like a little cartwheel, just come on down into that triangle pose. And just notice where your left hand is. Try to get it on the outside edge, the pinky edge of that left foot. Rotate through the torso. Take your gaze to your right thumb. Make sure you're breathing here. Beautiful. Inhale. Exhale. And then we're slowly going to come up, taking our time. And then we're just going to rotate at the hips. Spin that left foot forward, maybe even the right foot so that all 10 toes are facing the front. And you can relax the arms right now. And then we're just going to bring the heels in together so that the toes are facing out. Bend the knees, cactus the arms, and we're going to come into a goddess pose. Do a little bit of stretching here with those calf muscles and hamstrings in mind. So sink down a little lower. And on your next breath, we're going to just lift the toes on the right foot. So the heel is lifted and then lower it. Inhale, lift the heel on the left foot and lower it. Good. Let's do that again on the right. Lift the heel on the right, lower it, and then lift the heel on the left. Lower it. Okay, here's our big challenge. On our next breath, we're going to come up onto both toes. So both heels are lifted. Sink the hips even lower. Squeeze the shoulder blades and try to hold this for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Great balance and release. On our next breath, we want to get the feet a little more underneath the hips. So we're just going to heel toe 2 times, and then just make sure that you bring the toes to 12 o'clock. So the toes are facing the front wall. So if you look down, your feet are a little bit wider than your hips. And let's work on our posture before we go any further and do some balance. So we're going to take our shoulders, reach them up towards our ears, roll them back, squeeze the belly in, and then maybe take your right hand and place it right below the belly region, belly button area. Take the left hand, place it at the sacrum, and just give yourself a little tuck. And that will tuck in the tailbone. A little bit of safety, a little bit of posture control there. And then go ahead and bring your hands out to the side, and we're going to sweep them up into a mountain pose. So just sweep the arms up over your head, spread the fingers wide, straight arms. Maybe even squeeze in just to make sure they're straight, and feel the ears, and then bring them out just a little bit. Good. Go ahead and wiggle the toes. And let's check in with our breath. Breathing in as we hold this. Exhaling out. Take another inhale. And on your exhale, come into Tadasana, bringing the hands out to the side. We're going to work on posture again. We're going to take the shoulders, reach them up towards the ears, roll them back, squeeze the shoulder blades together, squeeze the belly in, and then we're going to make it a little more of an active Tadasana. We're going to squeeze the face, squeeze the arms so that we feel the triceps turn on. almost like we're igniting a fire in the body. Squeeze the belly in towards the spine. Lift the kneecaps, which will turn on the thigh muscles. And there are those hamstrings. You feel it right there. Lift the toes, which turn on the calves. And then we're going to do that again. Squeeze the face a little harder. Squeeze the backs of the arms. Squeeze the belly in towards the spine. Lift the kneecaps harder. Lift the toes. The temperature of our body is increasing as we breathe and hold this and squeeze. Our blood pressure is dropping, but our heart rate is increasing. Such a healthy, healthy pose. Keep squeezing, keep breathing. We're almost there. Beautiful. The backs of the arms are really starting to burn. Body is shaking. Might even feel some heat in the body. And then on your next breath, go ahead and just release this. Should feel a little bit of fatigue, perfectly normal. And maybe give everything a little shake before we do our balance. We are going to do our balance now. So if you want to step off your mat, if you're on carpet or a very soft, heavy, thick mat, I would recommend that. Maybe find a chair or maybe go to a wall. And there is nothing wrong with holding on to the wall while we do this. It may even be a tool for you to have a deeper expression of your poses while we're doing this balance. So with that, on our next breath, we're going to take our balance flow. We're going to go right to that. So we're going to work all of our weight over to our left side. Take our hands, place them on our hips, and just draw the toe over and just begin our little tap. So we're going to bring that knee up as high as we can and tap the toe down. And I'm going to count this out as we breathe for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And it's going to get a little harder. We're going to bring that knee up and flatten the foot so the toe is facing that front wall. Straight spine. And we're going to lift the knee towards our chest. So just lift that. It won't touch, but just lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now a little bit harder. You can keep the knee bent or you can straighten that front leg, send the arms up high. This is our tough one. Hold this balance for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now option to take it out to the side. You can bend the knee if that's better. You can bring the hands to the hips if that's better for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Woo. And we're going to take care of that standing leg. So we're going to maybe just press the toes into the mat and rotate that ankle as we're breathing, and then just reverse those rotations, making sure that we're breathing. And then we're going to just take the toes and reverse them and step onto the toes with the intention of drawing the heel towards the mat. You're going to get a nice stretch in the top of your foot here. Inhale, exhale, and then maybe shake that foot out and give it a little shake before we take it to the other side. So this time, all of our weight's going to go to the right side. That's going to be our foundation. Just think about the 4 corners of your feet pressing into the mat. Take your hands, place them on the waist, and draw the left toes over. Feel the ball of the foot, that toe mound, the pinky edge of the foot and the heel planting into the mat. And let's begin to tap on this side. So we're just going to begin to tap. Bring the knee up as high as you can. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. And then we're going to straighten the toes towards that front wall and bring the knee towards the body. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Straighten that leg, or maybe the knee stays bent. Try to bring the arms up straight. Spread the fingers wide. And the trick here is to find a spot and stare at it. Hold this. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then take it out to the side. Maybe you bend the knee here instead. Hold this. Hold that spot that you're staring at. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. And release that. And then we'll take care of that standing leg. Go ahead and press the toes into the mat on the right side, and then just rotate the ankle. Maybe you reverse it as you rotate. Hearing the breath, heart rate maybe up a little bit. And then just step onto those toes with the intention of drawing that heel down towards the mat. Hearing your breath, maybe feeling the heart rate. And then maybe give that foot a little shake. Maybe shake out both sides, shake out the arms a little bit. Just give everything a little shake. And then we're going to meet back at the top of our mat if you did step off your mat. So just come up to the top of your mat. Once again, let's look at the placement of our feet. Make sure they're about hip distance, maybe a little bit wider. Let's take our shoulders, lift them up, loop them back, squeeze the shoulder blades together, tuck the belly just a little bit, and sweep the arms up towards the ceiling. Spread the fingers wide. Maybe you wiggle the toes and lift them while you're here. And then on your exhale, let's take a fold. Maybe even turn this into a little rag doll where you bend the knees slightly. And if you have the fingers on the mat, maybe you spider the fingers and just move and sway the hips side to side. If you want to take it a little deeper, maybe you interlace the elbows and rock the body, the torso, along with the hips side to side. Another really nice option is to interlace the hands. Bring them back to the back of the skull and give yourself a little massage. Use the thumbs to massage the back of the neck here. Bring in the heart rate down. Little bend in the knees so they're not locked. And then on your next breath, let's go ahead and just release the arms. Let them just dangle. Let the shoulders just almost come out of the sockets and just dangle. Feel really, really relaxing to the shoulders here. On your next breath, we're going to take a halfway lift. So go ahead and come to that halfway lift. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see we want a really flat back here. So if you had a glass of water, it wouldn't spill on your back. Flat, flat, flat back. Squeeze those shoulder blades together, bringing the chin in, and maybe you're pressing into your shins or maybe even the thighs, depending on your height. On your next breath, we're going to come into a chair pose. Just come right to it. This is also called intense pose. Bend through the knees and maybe even bring the big toes so they face one another. Straighten up and send the hips down. Hold this 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Exhale, take a fold. And turn this into maybe a rag doll. Once again, where you bend the knees a little, take your gaze to your feet, your toes. And then we're going to, on our next breath, take that halfway lift. You get flat back, halfway lift. And on your next breath, come on back down to your mat, back onto a tabletop position, but we're not going to stay here. We're going to sit back onto the heels and make our way onto our back. So just coming onto the back, and let's come onto the back in a very gentle way. And a nice way to do that is just to straighten the legs out in front of you. Take your right hand and your right forearm and just lean over to the right side and come down onto that elbow. And then same thing on the left side, come onto that elbow. And right now we're in a pose. This is fish pose. We can bring the heels together, let the feet flop out, and maybe even look at the wall behind us. And this might be a nice release for your neck area. If it's hard on the shoulders, maybe come out of it and just come onto your back. With that, let's go ahead and squeeze the shoulder blades underneath us. And let's go ahead and go to our next pose, which is going to be an interesting new one called cattail. So we're just going to raise the right leg, reach it up towards the ceiling. And with your next breath, let that right leg float to the left side of your mat. So much so that you're going to notice your right hip wants to come up and face towards the ceiling. Perfectly fine. Fine. Maybe we send the arms out to a T just to support that a little bit. And you're going to notice that your left shoulder your right shoulder will come off the mat a little bit. Now, if this is hard on your right shoulder, you can go ahead and just send the hand over, maybe draw it up and just rest the right hand on your chest, depending on how your shoulder feels on this side. With your next breath, we're going to think about the right leg, and we're going to bend the right knee. And then we're going to take that right hand that might be on our chest and just try to find our right foot. Give it a little tug. This is called cattail. And you're going to feel a nice stretch along the right side of the torso, the right hip. And just close the eyes here and relax. And we're going to hold this as we breathe. I'm going to count it out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. And then we're going to just release everything and roll back onto our back. Now the hands might still be in a T, which is perfectly fine. And then we're just going to go right to it. That same thing on the left side. And notice if this side feels a little bit different, because sides are different. So with your next breath, just go ahead and draw that left leg up towards the ceiling. Feel the low back press into the mat. And then with your next breath, let that left foot float all the way to the outside of the right side of your mat. And you're going to notice your left hip is facing the ceiling. Now, see how your left shoulder feels. If it's a little tight, go ahead and bend that left arm and just place that left hand over your heart temporarily. Now we're going to think about the right. We're going to go ahead and bend that right knee, take the left hand, try to find that right foot, grab it, and give it a little pull, cattail, give it a pull. Going to close our eyes here and just stay right here with our breath as I count out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. And then we're going to release this and just come directly into bringing our knees into our chest. And maybe you make some little rocks side to side. Check in with your breath as we inhale and then fully exhale. Breathing in, exhaling out. Beautiful work. On your next breath, we're going to turn this into happy baby. So we're just going to flatten the feet, and maybe you grab your big toe and your second toe and pull the feet out wider. If you don't like to grab your toes, you can grab the outside edges of your feet and just think of them as being so flat that you could stand on the ceiling. And maybe you rock side to side. Another really nice option in this pose is to make it a playful happy baby. And straighten the right leg, bend the left knee a little bit deeper, and then just switch sides. Straighten the left leg, bend the right knee. This is really a nice way to take care of those tight hamstrings that we talked about at the beginning of class. And you might even feel a little bit of a stretch in the calf muscles if you draw the toes towards your forehead, towards the body. So we'll finish up here with our last breath, breathing in, exhaling out. Lovely, beautiful. And on our next breath, let's go ahead and send the feet down with knees bent. Go ahead and send the arms out to a T once again, and let's take care of our hips. So we're going to knock the knees together, heel toe the feet all the way to the outside edge of our mat. Now, if that's a little too hard on the hips and the knees, you can bring the feet in to the outside of the inside of the mat so they don't actually come off of your mat. They don't reach the carpet or the floor. And we're just going to stay and hold this and maybe even rotate our head. Just roll the neck with the intention of the ear, the right ear working towards the right shoulder, left ear towards the left shoulder. Make sure you're breathing in, exhaling out. Very relaxing pose. And then on your next breath, we're going to heel toe the feet all the way back, so much so that the feet meet and the soles of the feet come together. Bring the knees out into Supta Baddha Konasana, also known as butterfly, and just slide the hands down, almost like you're making a little snow angel. Take the fingers and lightly place them on the insides of the thighs and give a little light push with the fingertips. You'll feel this in the hip connectors. You feel really nice. If it's a little too much, just back off a bit. Stay here and hold this. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. And then just slide the hands to the outside edge of your thighs. Draw the knees together. And let's take a figure 4 here. So keeping the right foot planted into the mat, right knee is bent. We're just going to, maybe you lift up just a bit just to see. You're just going to take the left ankle and stack the left ankle right over the right knee. And we're going to just stay right here. You can release the neck, release the head, just rest back onto the mat and take your fingertips and press that left knee away from you towards the wall in front of you. And the more pressure you put here, the more intensity of that stretch along the left hip. So just holding this and breathing in, exhaling out. Let's take another breath in. One more breath out. And then maybe just go ahead and release this and just look up, bring the head up for just a moment. Take the hands and sweep them back behind the right knee, and then just pull that right knee towards the body as much as you can. And here is where you're getting your hamstring work on the left side. You can rock a little side to side. You can rotate your ankle, the right ankle. The more you pull that right knee towards you, the more intense stretch and lengthening of that left hamstring you're going to get. Really, really nice. And then release that, and we're going to do the other side. So just bring that left foot back, plant that foot into the mat, and then lift the right foot off the mat. Set that ankle, just set it up right above the left knee. Once again, take your hands, your fingertips, and just press that right knee, that right thigh as far from the body as you can, as though you're trying to get that knee, the right knee, to touch the wall in front of you. And you're going to feel that stretch on the right side along the hip. Really intense. Breathing in. Exhaling out. Beautiful. And then release that. Maybe look up for just a bit. Spread the fingers wide and just sweep the hands through, clasping right behind that left knee, and then pulling that left knee in towards the chest. And I bet you can feel that nice stretch in the hamstring. Maybe you rock a little side to side, holding this with your breath. Try to stay for one more breath here. Maybe pull the knee in a little tighter. And exhale, release. Beautiful. Let's come back to another Supta Baddha Konasana. So we'll press the soles of the feet together. Once again, take our hands, rest them lightly onto the thighs. Press down into the thighs and just hold this. Let's count this one out. Holding this for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. And then draw the knees together. Let's pull them in one more time. Pull the knees in towards the chest and think of your low back and pressing your low back into the mat, filling up any space that's right in between the sacrum and the low back region, that arch, that natural arch. And then on your exhale, go ahead and allow the feet to come back down to the mat. And you're going to notice that arch comes right back in, which is normal. And then just rest the hands by your body's side. With your next breath, go ahead and slide the right foot all the way down to the mat. Maybe you bring it out to the right side edge of your mat. And then with your next breath, slide the left foot all the way to the edge of your left side of your mat. And let's go ahead and squeeze the shoulder blades even tighter underneath us. Draw the chin in towards the chest. Once again, noticing that little arch coming back. And then just flip the hands so the palms are facing the ceiling. And let's just roll the neck side to side, closing the eyes, setting up for Shavasana. Maybe even taking it a little deeper, where we're relaxing the facial muscles. Find a stillness here. Think about that spot right between the forehead, right between the eyebrows. We furrow our brows when we have our conversations. We don't even know we're doing it, and just soften right in that spot. Soften through the eyes. Notice if the tongue is stuck to the roof of your mouth. Just let it come off and drop right into your lower palate. And then gently move your jawbone side to side. Thinking about the shoulders. Sink and just soften there. Allow them to just melt into your mat a little deeper. Working down to the elbows, the forearms, and the fingertips. Soften and sink into your mat, almost like you're sinking into a mattress. Going deeper in. Work down into the torso region, all the way to the hips, and let go. Sink into your mat. Let your body find the earth. Working down to the knees, letting go of any residual tension you might be holding there. Sink further down into the earth, down to the ankles. Think about the tops of the feet, the bottoms of the feet. Close your eyes and let's take a community breath here. Maybe it's a lion's breath. Take a deep breath in from the belly. Sip in a little bit more. And then let it out. Maybe you even stick the tongue out as you let it out. Lion's breath out. And just enjoy this Shavasana pose. And I will let you know when it's time to come out of it, but just relax. Stay here for 2 more breaths. Great work. And with your next breath, go ahead and begin to gently awaken the body. Let's spread the fingers as wide as we can. Try spreading the toes as wide as you can. And then give the fingers a little wiggle. Give the toes a little wiggle. And then as you're wiggling the toes, make a fist with the fingers and rotate the wrists. And then maybe you start to rotate the ankles as well. Good work. On your next breath, go ahead and bend the knees, press the feet into the mat. Maybe you send the arms out into a T and just take some windshield wipe movements, moving the hips, moving the knees side to side with your breath, breathing in Exhaling out. Another breath here. Inhale. Exhale. And then when your knees come to the right, go ahead and bring the whole body to the right side. Maybe make a little pillow for your head. Draw the knees even closer into the chest. Make yourself into a little ball here. Close the eyes and just breathe any way you like. No particular kind of breath. Just relaxation, fully relaxed. And then on your next breath, begin to make your way back into a comfortable seated position, just an easy pose, the way we started out. Once you're in that seated position, take the shoulders, reach them up towards the ears, roll the shoulders back and draw the shoulder blades back together. Sitting nice and tall, lengthening through the spine. Let's go ahead and sweep the arms up towards the ceiling, spread the fingers wide, and then draw the palms together. And on your exhale, bring the hands down to heart center. Let's take care of our wrists here a little further. We're going to rotate the fingertips down towards the floor. Maybe you open the eyes just enough to see your veins, pinkies reaching towards the body. This is so good for cell phone work and computer work, which I know we all do. And then on your next breath, rotate the fingertips back up towards the ceiling. Maybe even press into the hands and feel your biceps turn on. A little bit of an awakening, a little bit of release and relief for the shoulders. And then let go of that. Let's go ahead and separate the hands, press them into the floor or the mat, and walk the hands forward just enough to get a stretch in that low back region. Draw the chin in towards your chest. And with your next breath, slide the right hand towards the body, left hand towards the body, and bring the hands right back to heart center. Send the hands up towards your third eye center, just that forehead region. And just breathe here and think about all that you did for your body and be proud of yourself. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Namaste.